Okay, so undoing changes. I already mentioned Control Z. Here's the undo right up here, by the way. Instead of Control Z, you can use the undo. So undo, 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 undo. There we go. Now, so we're here. Redo. Okay. Control Z. Undo. Control Y. That's on your keyboard. Redo. So, let's see. Let's talk about absolute and relative addresses begin again. And there we go. This is the sheet we really want to look at. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to do something here with this sheet. I'm going to insert a row, by the way. Did you guys see that? I'll do a Control Z and do it again. Insert row. So I need some more room between two rows. You also have insert columns if you've selected a column, but it's grayed out right now. So I'm inserting a sheet row, and we're going to put the point values of tests. Points. 100, 100, 200. Now, to get the average, we want to take 100 times this plus 100 times this plus 200 times this divided by 100 plus 100 plus 200, or 400. So the way we do it, and why is this a value instead of a average? That's weird. Okay, I'm not gonna sweat it. We'll fix it in a minute. In fact, this is a good time to fix it. Equals. There's a function called sum product, but what I'm about to show you can be used with any product, with any function. That it looks for one row, one set of values, and it does exactly what I explained to you. Now you'll notice here it's got the references. It's got B2 to D2. Now if I hit F4, it'll put a bunch of dollar signs on it. That means when I copy the formula, remember what earlier when we copied the formulas, the formula referred to the cells to the left, and when you went down one row, the formula referred to the cells to its left, not the previous cells left. Well, this reverses that. It's called an absolute reference. And there we go. And I forgot to do something. I better divide it by 400. Again, F4 to make sure I've put lots of dollar signs on it. That'll let you toggle between dollar signs and not. Okay. So now I can copy and paste all the cells. And we've actually seen this before. So this one looks like, oh, 74. Good. That's right. That's right. Okay, so the final, you'll notice the average of these two is 97.5, and this is worth 2 though. So the result is really close to 97.5. Now if I put 97.5 on my value for the final exam, they'd be equal because the average of these two is 97.5 and they're worth the same amount. And then this one's worth twice as much as either one, and you average it. Well, 97.5 average with 97.5 is 97.5. Control Z again to put it back the way it was. Absolute references. So It refers, the blues are the ones with the dollar signs, the reds don't have the dollar signs. Whenever I copy the formula cells, remember when I copied the formula cells, this changed. If I went down 3 rows and the pointer, the reference went down 3 rows. So so it's called a relative reference. It's relative to the cell you're in. This is absolute. That when a cell has a dollar sign in front of it, when the reference has a dollar sign in front of it, it will always point there. It won't point anywhere else. Now there's some fine distinctions with that. That this dollar sign means always go to row 2. Don't go to any other rows. Go to row 2 only. This dollar sign means go to column B only. The colon here in the middle is a way that Excel says this is a range of cells. It's not 2 different cells. It's a range. And this says the end of the range is always going to be column D. The end of the range is always going to be in row 2. If you omit one of these, if you omit the column, that means if I copied the formula over here, then it wouldn't be absolute anymore. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to use a little different formula. It's easier to demonstrate with this formula. So the sum of these. Now I'm going to copy and paste it. Okay, it's always pointing to B2 to D2. Always pointing to B2 to D2. Okay, now let's do one more thing. Let's remove this and remove this. Now, I want you guys to see what's going to happen. I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to paste it. This little warning says the formula here is different than here. So it gives me a little warning, which I know because I intended it to be different. Now you recall before it referred to these 3 cells. But now that I removed the dollar sign off of it, when I copy it over right one cell, then the references also move to the right by 1 cell. And so we get a different number. References also move to the right by 1 cell. So we get a different number. We get 300 instead of 400. Okay, that's relative and absolute references. F4 is the key to do it. Or you can do it by individual dollar signs. We've already seen, I already showed you how to insert and delete columns. So let's try that again. We can delete sheet rows, delete an individual cell. I'll delete an individual cell. Delete cells, that's the delete key. Now, a little different from the clear, or the key for that matter. It asks if I want to shift the cells up. So it thinks there's a space. And it says, and Excel says, should I fill that in? And I'm going to cancel that command. Let's go back to what we were doing before. I'm going to select the whole row this time. I'm going to delete the entire row. It says, then it'll ask me, shall I shift them up? And it does. Now we have a bad formula. I'm just going to take the simple average in this case. Okay. that looks like a good place to wrap up this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, and we'll pick up with the next video.